Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
Let's talk about social club sports.
What?
Darts.
I'm with you.
Darts and snooker.
So snooker, social club sport? Yeah, okay, it is.
Yeah, well, so again, one of the things that we asked was, is snooker and darts, are they sports?
Or are they
games?
a hobby?
Are they games? Are they pastimes? Now, someone said to me, if you're taking score, if there are points winning, it's a sport. And I was like, yeah, I like that way of putting it. But what's your opinion in particular on darts? Because darts and snooker, for me, they're both in there. They're sports.
Yeah, I think snooker, 100%.
Okay.
Darts, without doubt, yes, but I understand the argument more. I understand the argument more. I think they're both extreme skill-based games. The reason why people question whether they're a sport because
of their appearance.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be an athlete to
be. But this is sports people, not athletes.
True that. Yeah, true that. But I think everybody's picture of the ideal sportsman is an athlete, isn't it? Is a chiseled, dressed smartly, 6'4", ripped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their image.
Well, let's talk about Phil Taylor, because no disrespect to Phil, but he wasn't ticking those boxes. What Phil has done is dominated for best part of 20 years.
Yes.
And he has won 85 major titles, 16 world championships, 8 consecutive championships.
That's ridiculous.
He has 11 televised 9-dart finishes, 22 in total. The first person to hit 2 9-dart finishes in the same match.
The best darts player ever to have lived. The best darts player ever to have lived. Only Luke Littler can overtake this guy as the best darts player ever to have lived.
Luke can't get anywhere near him. And he could be one of the greatest ever. Until someone does this...
No,
right,
nobody's ever going to beat that.
It's like this thing about Haaland, right? You see Haaland, people going... For Haaland to beat Ronaldo's scoring record, he has to score something like...
50 goals for the next 15 years.
15 years.
50 goals a season for 15 years in a row.
And so whilst Luke Littler, I really hope he has an amazing career. I'll be impressed if he gets halfway there.
But that's because the standard nowadays is so much higher.
True.
But you look at the people that he's playing against, and I guarantee you, the people that in this world of darts now, they practice more than anybody's ever practiced in the history of darts. Up there probably with I bet you Phil Taylor would have been the first guy to practice like these guys are practicing now, to put that effort and time and dedication into it, and couple it with the fact that naturally he is just the most gifted dart player ever to have lived.
The good thing about snooker and darts is there are other variables that don't come into play. So, for example, the equipment, I'm sure there's been some marginal gains over the years.
Minor tweaks here and there.
But minor.
Yeah.
The reality is it's someone throwing a dart at a board.
Yeah.
How much can things develop, right? But when you look at it and you going back years, the standard is better because the averages are getting better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can tell that the standard is better because you look at the overall average of every dart player when they play, and it is better than what it used to be.
104, 105 now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, it was in the 80s, 90s kind of thing. Now it's in the hundreds. That's what I mean. It's tangible. You can see a difference there. When you contrast that to football, for example, rugby, you'll say, it looks faster nowadays, but when you watch, you just don't ever really know, do you? You don't ever really
there's certain things you can do. The players are bigger, stronger, and everything else. The only thing with darts, with Phil, I would say is, is it a massively participated sport across the world? Has he changed the game? Yeah, he's changed darts.
It in darts. He didn't change it worldwide, though. That's the only difference.
He changed darts worldwide.
No, but we're only within darts.
But I would say, for me, you go British, he's in the top 10, he's in the top 5.
Yeah.
Worldwide greatest sports people to ever live.
Can't put him in the top 10. I can't put him in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we agree on that. I think most people will agree on that. We have to talk about another social club sport, like you say it.
Well, no. You know what I mean by that.
I don't know what you mean by saying that, but for me, this guy, I think he has to be in with a shout. All right, we're talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan here. We're talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan. For me, the greatest snooker player ever to have lived, the most natural, plays left-handed, right-handed. I think he is winning that game before he even starts the frame.
Yeah.
Because whoever he's playing against is looking at Ronnie and thinking, that's Ronnie O'Sullivan, that is Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's the way he plays the game, though, Ben. Like you said, he's left-handed and right-handed.
No fear.
His 147 was, what, 5 odd minutes?
5.5 minutes, yeah.
5.5 minutes? And we were saying the other day, 147 has to be the hardest achievement in sports for an amateur.
Without doubt.
Because you can't do it.
For anybody.
For an amateur.
For anybody.
So for any sporting event, the 147 has to be the hardest achievement.
Without doubt it is. In darts, it's 9 shots. It's 9 shots.
And 9 darter. And you could argue that if you're really good at darts, with a little bit of luck, you could do that. 147.
Yeah. How many shots is a 147?
Don't know.
36.
So you're handy at snooker?
Yeah, very, 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 very non-handy.
Right, limited.
So,
but you've played for 25 years.
Yes.
What's your highest break?
At one point, when I was leaving school at 16 and me and Wesley used to go and bunk off college and go to the snooker hall, we were playing, I'm talking about 5 hours a day, every single day for months, yeah? And I once got a 52 break, yeah?
Which is good.
I was buzzing, mate. I went around everybody telling everybody I got a 52 break, and it was like, oh my God, Ben got a 52 break. It was incredible. It's not even touching the sides. It's not even touching the sides. This sport, snooker, is, you have to be born with it. Genuinely, you can practice as much. Without doubt. There's kids on the telly at the minute. They're 12 years old. There's one kid, yeah. He has to stand on a milk crate to be able to hit his shots, yeah. He's 12 years old.
Crate.
Well, you know what I mean. He has to stand on a box. He has to stand on a box, right, to hit his shot because he doesn't even reach the table properly yet. But as soon as he's on the table and he's got that snooker cue in his hand, the angles are so obvious to him, and he can execute that perfect technique every single time. And he's beating people. He's beating professionals. Like week in, week out. It's phenomenal. You have to be born with it, surely. You have to. Does he go into the top 10 sportsmen of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan?
I think we've got to see who else is in there.
He's on a maybe.
But let's just look at it very quickly. Oldest winner of all 3 Triple Crown events, 23 Triple Crown titles. He has 7 world titles, 8 UK championships, 8 Masters titles, turned professional at age 16, oldest and youngest winner of the UK Championship. At
48 years old, still world number 1. Still. And I will add another bit to that is I think he is playing as virtually as well as what he has ever played in his life right now at 48 years old. At the moment, he is beating everybody. Honestly, he was playing last week. He played in the quarterfinals a couple of days ago, and he is just battering everybody. I mean, battering everybody. You know he's not going to miss. I swear to you, he's not going to miss. It is a joke. The guy who he's playing against is just sitting in his chair thinking, what's the point? He is that good at the minute. He's phenomenal.
So you did a shoot with him recently. What's he? You spent a bit of time with him, didn't you? What's Ronnie O'Sullivan like, Ben?
Oh, he's so sound. He's so sound. He's just one of these guys who I think it's been very well documented that he's had his struggles, mental health, all that kind of stuff. If you watch the documentary, it's such a good insight into what he's about as a bloke. But not only that, or how hard it is to be an elite sportsman, especially an individual sport like snooker, where it is so much in your head. And it just tells you about how hard he finds it. You know, playing at the Crucible, playing in the Masters, and he explains it, and you can see him struggling so badly, but he overcomes it and he goes and wins it. And it's incredible. And I loved him as a bloke. I thought he was really nice, really sincere, down to earth, very calm. And he just don't like all the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah.
He just wants to play snooker and go home. Simple as that.
I saw an interview that said recently with him and said, if you win this next championship, what's your idea of celebrating now? And he said, honestly, he goes, can of Diet Coke and 2 Snickers.
Boom.
On the way home, on the motorway.
Lovely.
He goes, that's my idea.
He just wants to go home, mate. He wants to go home, get out of the glare, get out of the spotlight, doesn't want the cameras on him, and he just wants to go back to normality. That'll do. Thank you very much. So he's in the maybes list, all right?
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of the Fozcast. Don't forget to give us a follow on Spotify. Up the Fozcast.